Yes, I am one of the people who say don't cancel the woke. But I can assure you this isn't a matter of, oh, I turn the other cheek and that makes me a better person. That does not win this type of battle. I can assure you that my intentions are less than altruistic. This is simply a matter of giving someone enough rope to hang themselves. I will be happy to explain further, but first, let's set the stage. The woke claim they're being canceled for a frivolous reason, and how it's oh so wrong that we are doing this to them. We didn't like it when they ruined our lives, so we shouldn't do it to them. Only they should be allowed that tactic. For the past decade and beyond, we should just sit here and take it, the same way their girlfriend takes it while they are holding the camera. And of course, if we dare fire back, we're all hypocrites. And well, for the woke to say that this is hypocrisy, that means that we must be canceling them for the same reasons they canceled us. I mean, certainly it's not something like trying to ruin someone's life because they flashed the OK sign at a camera, or because they said a slur 10 years ago. Well, let's look into what has landed them into such hot water that the heretics that they've been burning at the stake for the past 10 years can suddenly turn things around on them and start canceling them. As I'm sure everyone knows, former United States President Donald Trump is up for re-election, and there was recently an attempt on his life to put a bullet through his head. And our woke brothers and sisters, those who are far more moral than any of us could ever be, who are the shining example of what a moral and righteous human being should be. What did they say in response to this? Well, let's see. There's an old saying that goes something like this. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Let's get it right this time. Oh, wow. Now, maybe I'm being absurd here, but it seems to me like this person is encouraging another attempt on a United States president's life. And here we have a proud member of the woke religion holding up a picture of the person who attempted to assassinate President Trump, saying, "An American hero, G.I. Joe." That's right, that's the American spirit. Don't beat your opponents in an election, assassinate them, the Democratic way. They go on to say, reacting to a news report, that the person who attempted to assassinate Trump has passed away. The response was, he died a hero's death, and then going further saying, if it was actually real, he should have finished the job. Another tweet from our moral authority, damn it, he didn't die? Well, at least one supporter did. I'll take what I can get. This is in reference to the firefighter who was behind Trump, who covered his family and protected them with his own life. May he rest in peace. And if I can break character for just a second, that man was a firefighter. He protected his family. So this person can go fuck themselves. Another one of the righteous defenders of democracy said this. The one time there was a good guy with a gun and he fucked it up. They seem a little upset that a presidential candidate and former president didn't take a shot to the head and die. To go further, how do you miss? He was right there and you missed. It would have been over. Well, we're all screwed. He's winning the election and millions are going to die. Witnessing fascism spread in a country in real time is terrifying. I'm going to go off script here and say it amazes me how these people say they are defending democracy by eliminating anybody who runs against their candidate. You understand democracy is about votes. You can't just shoot the other guy. One of our woke moral betters went on to say, LOL, apparently I hurt some feelings. This is as viral as I've ever been. Funny how people think my post was political. I was only stating my feelings on banishing evil from this world. So it's more religious than political. Thank you. We agree on that at least. Woke is a religion. It is a cult. And it's not just some nobodies stating these things out in the ether somewhere. It is amplified by the media, by entertainment, and from the government itself. It is celebrated. They constantly lie over and over and over again, stating that we're all, like if Trump's elected, he's just going to start rounding up people and eliminating them, executing them en masse. And we're told that this is because we're all racist. But what do they have to say about things? Oh, yeah, white people are subhuman, cause them genetic defects. And this is acceptable within their cult. Now, as the woke cry out, it is hypocrisy to cancel us because you didn't like it when we did it to you. And they keep going on and on about hypocrisy this, hypocrisy that. Well, let's remember how the woke absolutely hate guns. They think that guns should be taken away from every citizen. Only people who should be allowed to have guns are the cops, even though all cops are bad. But then, whenever somebody attempts to assassinate the person running against their boy, suddenly, well, shooting people and having a gun is okay. But hey, maybe these are just edgy jokes, right? Maybe they're just kidding. Maybe this is just dark humor. Oh my God. Maybe the anti-woke have become woke and fragile and triggered. Oh, what? You can't handle a dark, edgy joke? I would love to extend that good faith to believe that these are just silly gags. But I have to ask, when has this good faith ever been extended to us? Any disagreement, let alone joke, that we ever extended earned the label of Nazi. At no point have we ever received any such good faith. You don't want to take your kids to a strip club with signs saying it's not going to lick itself and have full-grown adults twerk on them? Oh, well, you're obviously a bigot. It couldn't be because you don't think that's appropriate for children. They've never given us the benefit of the doubt, so why should we give it to them? When Biden said put Trump in the bullseye, I understood that he meant to focus on Trump. I willingly gave him that good faith. Yet, looking at it now, it sounds disingenuous. Especially from a person who honestly believed that Trump saying, fight, was a command to start an American Civil War. They ask us to be charitable as possible to them while always ascribing the worst fascistic, Nazi, white supremacist motives to us and never miss a chance to do so. They will look you in the eye and lie, as if they could honestly believe the United States, with the most powerful military in the history of this entire planet, could be cratered by a man in a Viking helmet. But maybe I'm being oversensitive here. Perhaps I am a snowflake. I mean, if they find so-called jokes about assassinating a president of the United States to be acceptable, certainly they would never cancel someone for lesser reasons, right? Oh, I'm sure they wouldn't cancel someone for wearing a shirt with sexy anime or animated ladies on it, would they? Because certainly that's not as bad as assassinating a United States president. Maybe I'm not being open-minded enough. Maybe this is actually worse than assassinating a president. I mean, think of the women who might look at this shirt and think that these girls are prettier than they are. Her feelings are by far... Oh my God, I can't even fucking pretend to understand their perspective on this. There was Gina Carano who made a reference to World War II in an example of how cancel culture is a bad thing. And of course, she was canceled. She didn't try to kill anybody. She didn't say anybody should be killed. She just simply said canceling people is a bad thing. And she made a reference for World War II to do it. And some people said, oh, that's beyond the pale to reference World War II. It's coming from a bunch of people who will call you a Nazi for not drinking Bud Light. Oh, but I can understand. I can see. Of course, I see it now. Assassinating someone is bad, but not nearly as bad as a woman who doesn't know her place. Isn't that right, wokies? For all their talk of women's liberation, they of all people believe women have one place, and that's on their knees agreeing with anything that they say. Huh. Oh, well, well, obviously, literally Hitler right here. Child dressed up as their favorite team's mascot. Wow. The assassination of President Lincoln doesn't even compare. This is the most horrible thing that's happened in the history of the United States of America. A child dressing up like their favorite mascot and cheering on and encouraging the attempted assassination of a president, exactly the same thing. These are both on the same plane morally, right? I mean, we're all in agreement, right? That all those examples are far worse than assassinating a president, right? I can hear the voices already saying that Trump is evil and a threat to democracy, so that makes killing him okay. But let's be real. That would be the story for any candidate that does not bend over, spread the cheeks, and take the full girth of their tiny but insistent religion. Anyone who dissents should be in the bullseye. Isn't that right, Mr. Biden? They have gone so far as to say that J.D. Vance, having a grave plot holding several generations of his family, now makes him a Nazi, or I'm sorry, a white supremacist, as if even these people considered that to be different. It doesn't matter who is up there. If it's not their puppet, they are a Nazi. It's just old. It's played out. It's passé. We are dealing with people who believe they are so holy, so ascended, so beyond us simple plebeians, that the world would cheer them as they called for another assassination attempt. That is the measure of their narcissism. They see themselves as gods, and if we silence them, the world will not see it. I mean, look around. The average Joe and Jane got a glimpse of the woke with their masks off. And see how the tide changed. You see, at first, the woke weren't being canceled. Just people weren't prostrating before them as usual. They'd gone a step too far, and at first they didn't realize it. But once they realized that your average normie out there saw how vile and evil this religion is, they pumped those brakes real fast. But don't be fooled into thinking like Destiny was banned for our sake. That didn't happen because we canceled him. No, I can guarantee you a woke zealot was on the phone calling for his ban. I guarantee you it was a leftist, it was a Democrat saying, get him off the air, shut him up. He's making us look bad. because all these cries for death, for assassination, got to the ears of the normal people out there, and they didn't like it, and they had to shut it up. We didn't do that. I can guarantee you that it was the woke that shut him up. But I tell you what, let's look a little bit into the woke clergy's hero of destiny.
What about child pornography?
That's kind of a different thing. There's like moral versus pragmatic sides of that. I've seen a little bit of evidence on the pragmatic side, and it seems like an okay thing. I probably shouldn't say that, or it sounds.
Oh, yeah, you're fucking right. You shouldn't say that. And here's what I find very interesting about the woke is that they keep constantly testing the waters on the whole PDF file thing, and they realize that they have not made the world ready for that yet, for them to start trying to say, oh, if you don't like it, you're a Nazi, because we all know that's where they're headed. But they still thought that calling for assassination would be acceptable. They still thought that they were that far along. They thought that they had our balls in that kind of a grip.
Fuck it. Fuck the dude, the firefighter guy. Fuck Trump. Fuck the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever the fuck, I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am. 100%.
Now, I know that might be a heartless way to look at a man who died protecting his family, a firefighter who put his life on the line for other families, a hero, someone we should all actually look up to. Destiny had this to follow up with the bloodstains of that hero still wet on those bleachers. He said, all I see is Biden up +1 in Pennsylvania. These are our moral and compassionate authority. Now, at this point, you might be saying, heretic, after everything you've brought before us, why would you say not cancel them? They obviously deserve it, and they certainly do. As I told you in the beginning, my argument is not altruistic. See, I'm looking at the long game. We have to play for the end game against this vile force. The clergy controlling the woke want the zealots silenced as much as we do. The zealots don't know when to shut up. The world got a glimpse of what the woke actually are. A cult of death-worshipping garbage. Several businesses have dropped DEI, and I'm sure that celebrities feel the grip loosening around them. It won't be long until even some woke YouTubers suddenly see the light and find the will to stand up to this death cult. And this is only because the world saw them with their mask off. I say let them speak. Let them spew their vile sermon. Let the world see what they are. Plaster it on every timeline, every video, every forum. Let them attempt to spread their gospel far and wide. Let people choke on the rotted fumes and want rid of it. If the woke are silenced, it will be their excuse for all time. But let them speak, and people will reject their infection. Freedom will take its purchase, and we will all once again trash talk in game lobbies like it's 2005. As always, thank you for listening and letting me share my thoughts with you. This is Heretic Prince, signing off.